Okay. Because there was like messages I hadn't seen on it, and it.
I think that was at the end of last meeting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that was the end of last meeting because I haven't heard anything from Anne since she added me. Okay, so yeah, I don't know about you, but finding an example for this week kind of sucked. An article.
Wait, it was supposed to be an article?
Yeah, it's supposed to be an article.
I always forget to look at the top of that thing. I just came up with my own example.
So
I'm
I think it's every other one. Every other week is it switches every other week. So like next week will be an article. I mean next week will be our own example, and then the week
okay.
after will be another article. But just yeah, it's always just safe for double check. Um, so in that case, I guess we're going with mine. I don't think mine's that good because yeah, like I said, I looked for a very long time and I found almost nothing.
Really?
Well, it's just like because so it was a very kind of vague thing. It was asking for my opinion. Give me 1 second. I'll pull it up and we'll talk about it. Individual example. There we go.
Oh, okay. I see it on there.
Yeah, because if you think about it, an example of a contract being discharged by performance is something that wouldn't exactly be in a court case because discharging by performance means both sides complete their side, which means there's no need for for them to even go to court.
Yeah.
So I asked my uncle because he's actually a lawyer and he deals with contracts and stuff, and so when I talked to him, he said that it's basically just kind of a breach of contract.
Mhm.
So yeah, like I said, I couldn't really find anything on. So I couldn't find anything on the Wall Street Journal. I seriously looked forever and I could not find anything. But I finally found one on CNBC that talked about Qualcomm files breach of contract complaint against Apple's manufacturers,
Mhm.
and it talked about the Qualcomm files a breach of contract complaint with the contract manufacturer Apple for not paying royalties on all the chips that they provide for the iPhones, and and the manufacturers like realize that they're contractually obliged to pay Qualcomm, but they're following instructions by Apple not to pay the chip manufacturer, not to pay them. So yeah, that's kind of so that's what I was able to find. That's kind of what I assumed because one side's fulfilling their side of the deal and the other side is not. So um,
So, but the contract discharged by performance,
so yeah, the discharge by performance means like, from what I understood, it's like um,
they both complete their like what they agreed to.
yes, and so that's why I couldn't find a court case on it because it's supposed to be a court case or like a case,
Yeah.
but there's not going to be a court case if both people do what they say they're going to do.
But there's like the attempted performance or something where like um they like do perform it, but it's not necessarily what the person they promised to wanted, like the way it to be done. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I'm honestly just not even. I honestly just did the best I could. I seriously looked for forever and a half.
Yeah.
Uh, I probably spent about 2 hours looking for these stupid things. And so finally,
Oh, dang.
I emailed my uncle because this is what he does, and I was like, I'm like, hey, do you have like anything like? Have you heard of any court cases recently that like, they're an example of whatever of the a contract being discharged by performance? And then he just sent me a bunch of court cases. He just sent me a list of court cases that like, well, that he dealt with. I didn't use any of them because I already found this one, but it was the same. It was the same stuff. Just people not being happy with someone doing their side, but the other side not doing their side, or like you were saying. But I mean,
Mm-hmm.
honestly, like I'm not. I mean, we might have just been looking improperly. I don't know because Anne said she could find it, but I seriously looked. I googled 30 different ways, and I looked through the Wall Street Journal. I found nothing. So
Okay, that's totally fine. Like we can just go with that because
we don't have any other options.
yeah. Like, I feel like there should be exceptions to how he was wanting us to do this, but
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like as long as you put forth the effort, that's what's important.
yeah.
Like, it's not like I seriously probably spent about 2 hours on this. So I mean, yeah, I don't know. I was. You can ask my wife. I almost lost a couple times because I was getting so frustrated on Google trying
I'm
to
so
find
sorry.
anything. Because I mean, it wouldn't have been hard except for the fact that they wanted that, except for it had to be within the last calendar year,
Oh, yeah.
which is what made it very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So give me a second. So do you actually? So read me your example real quick. 'Cause maybe we can use that as our question.
Okay. Um, I mean, it's kind of lame, but it's Harry agreed to sell his TV to Laura for $300 and deliver it on May 22nd, which would be when Laura paid him. On May 22nd, Harry delivered the TV to Laura and Laura paid him. So,
You know what? Like email that to me really quick and message it, and we'll actually use that as our quiz question, and then we can just come up with the answers. Because I mean, I think that's a great quiz question because I think it's pretty straightforward. It's not overly complicated.
yeah.
So yeah, if you just want to message that to me or email it.
I just copied it and pasted it into the email.
Okay, I'll just wait for that to come up. Okay. So paid him. And so our question should be, let's see. So we're talking about contract being discharged by performance. What are the other options under that? I'm trying to remember.
Just a second, let me grab my book.
I'm just trying to figure out how to phrase that. $57. So let's see. It looks like there's discharge by breach.
Mm-hmm. There's the discharge by anticipatory breach.
Okay, let me type these in really quick. So the correct answer is discharge by performance.
Mm-hmm.
And then wrong answer number 1 is discharge by breach. And then the second wrong answer is
Discharge by anticipatory breach.
anticipatory breach. And then we need one more, discharge by agreement of the parties.
Mm-hmm. We could switch one of the breach ones to the discharge by operation of law, but it doesn't matter too. I just
Give me a second. Okay, and so we should phrase the question. So the contract discharge is a general legal term describing the termination or completion of a contract. So we should do. This is an example of what type of discharge.
yeah.
And so let's see the feedback. So for the correct answer, feedback, this is correct because both parties have completed their side of the agreement.
Mm-hmm.
And then discharge by breach is because neither side because
One
this is
party
incorrect because
failed.
both sides completed their side of the agreement.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and now number discharge by anticipatory breach. This is incorrect because both sides intended to fulfill their side of the agreement. Okay, and then the third one, why is discharged by agreement of the parties?
Because they didn't both agree to end it.
Okay. This